You're watching the Faithful Fan Talk Podcast with your host, the Noster. Featuring live takes, news updates, game reactions, with real Lakers and 49ers fans. And now, time to get right into it with your host.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a good week. This is the Noster at the Faithful Fan Talk Podcast from my studio here in the Lakers conference room. No, it's just too messy in the back, so I gotta put a background. Nonetheless, I am back. Worked out all the technical kinks from yesterday, and I can finally get a show today going so we can talk Lakers. But before I go on any further, I just want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel, like the video, make sure to visit my Blue Sky social media account at Faithful Fan Talk. I will put the link in the YouTube channel description so you guys can go visit. If you guys are interested in being a guest on my show so we can talk Lakers, feel free to chime in. You can also comment, and we can be in touch. By the way, today I ate some dinner before I got on the show here. Tommy's celebrating their 80th anniversary. I don't know about you guys, but they're selling their burgers for 80 cents. So you can't go wrong with 80-cent burgers these days. So if you're a fan of their chili, go out and get yourself a burger. Of course, by the time, I don't know, you probably saw this video, the promotions party already ended. So anywho, just wanted to promote their burgers because I don't know, I've fondness for their nostalgic taste. So anyways, we're gonna talk about the Lakers now, and let's get to it. So obviously the Lakers season is done with, and not in a very positive way. Of course, it's never an easy thing when you have to be swept in the second round of the playoffs to OKC. A team like OKC, of course, they are the juggernaut of the Western Conference. But honestly, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, you got Luka Doncic, who still injury, never got a chance to suit up for the Lakers. We had players that were sort of showing up here and there. You know, they were not very consistent in the semi-finals in the Western Conference. So, having said that, I just wanted to reflect on the last game because I never actually had a chance to react to the game 4 at Staples. The effort, I think, I feel a sense of I don't know if I want to say satisfaction, but at least there's a sense of, okay, you put up a fight against OKC, which is more than appreciated. Finally, I don't know, it took them like 4 games to finally gut it out. Obviously, you ran out of gas at the end. There's only so much you could do. SGA just lit it up at the end and showed why he's probably going to be MVP again in the 2026 NBA season. But with, if you put that all aside, I mean, you did have a couple of inconsistencies in the playoffs. Granted, you did get past Houston, but you do realize that Kevin Durant was out, so that actually changed strategies quite a bit to the Lakers' advantage, which they took plenty of, and punched their ticket into the second round. But we knew instantly going into the second round of the playoffs that we knew we were going to hit a brick wall. Honestly, if anybody thought that the Lakers had a punching chance to get over the hump after being 0-4 in the regular season, if you're going to have any chance to go over KFC, KFC is not a bad thing right now. OKC. you must be on something. I don't think we can have a conversation here say, the Lakers are going to, somehow, climb over the top and get over OKC in the second round. That's just not going to happen. That's more of like if you're in a dream world. But anyways, there's a couple of things that I can think of over the season that we can probably just overall performance take some positives and some negatives. But overall, the grade for the Lakers, I mean, if you take into account that they started out the season rather poorly, you got to remember the Lakers were having all sorts of identity crises before the trade deadline, before the All-Star break. They did not have the best record, and right towards the trade deadline, you had a pickup of Luke Kennard, who was a solid person to put in the guard and shoot just lights out. So I mean, yes, he didn't have the greatest postseason. Doesn't have a whole lot of time with the Lakers, but I mean, for the most part, you had your 3-point threat, which you need. That's always a plus. And you got to take a fact into the March. They went, if I remember correctly, they went 16 of 18. 16 out of 18 games. So you're talking about a record. I was almost near 90%. So I mean, you're talking about a solid run there, a streak that went from the Lakers being a play-in to now possibly the second seed in the Western Conference. You take that much of a step forward, then you can always consider it a plus in your overall grade. So what do I give them as a grade? I think for me, it's fair to say I would give them probably maybe a B- or a C+. I wouldn't go any further than that. Obviously, the Lakers' expectations is always to win the finals, to win a championship. They didn't get it done. Do I consider them overachievers in this season? I would say to an extent, yes. Obviously, they had to overcome all the roller coaster rides of this season. They managed to get over some of the injuries, but obviously, with OKC, you just not going to get much far. So let's talk about some of the pros in the Lakers this season. Obviously, you got Luke Kennard. Very solid 3-point. I mean, obviously, he came from the Clippers. But, I mean, there's something about the Lakers where, I mean, if you're gonna integrate with the Lakers, there's a certain coaching style. And I don't know if perhaps he just needs more time. Obviously, he's had games where he's lit it up, and you could tell he can be a real threat long term for the Lakers. I have no problem re-signing Luke Kennard to a new deal in the offseason. But anytime you can have a person that's reminiscent of a Robert Horry, a Derek Fisher, a Michael Cooper type of player, where the ball's going to hit you and you're reliable more than 50% of the time on 3-point range, then that is considered a plus. I would consider that a win. So I'm going to say that if the Lakers, during their offseason negotiations, can get Luke Kennard back, that would be a step in the right direction. Because you want to make sure that you build around a young team around Luka. And you just need to have that outside perimeter threat. All right. So that was a plus for the Lakers. And I would consider that a steal because obviously with Luke Kennard, obviously you leave him wide open. You're almost surely he's going to knock it down. Now let's talk about LeBron James. Now this dude, um, 41 years old, obviously. Um, we cannot take away any of his accomplishments from the Lakers. He's had a lot of records that were set, and I think what we can make out of the season is, had LeBron James not been with the Lakers in the new role that he was, willing to step into, which is not easy, I don't think the Lakers would have probably gotten this far. I think we can make a conversation that LeBron James willing to do whatever it took necessary to get the team into the position they were in the playoffs, getting past from the play-in tournament to the now being a 2 seed, can be credited to LeBron James, at least willing to step into that specific role of the third option. So I know that we have LeBron haters, LeBron followers, but I'm trying to just take that out of the mix and be realistic, as what actually LeBron was able to contribute to the team. So I'm taking that particular aspect of being a team player, without all the added drama that's going on right now with LeBron James. I know that there's that narrative that the all the sportscasters are trying to set right now, that LeBron James is feeling unappreciated by the Lakers organization, how he was swayed, and all this stuff with regard to the fact that he made these contributions to the Lakers, and yet there was an interview with Dave McMenamin, I believe he had on ESPN, which I'm not going to get really into. It's just, if you want to go and check it out yourself, check it out on the ESPN channel. But there was a clip where Rob Pelinka goes into the locker room post game, and rather than commemorating LeBron's accomplishments, he gave the game ball to JJ Redick for, I believe, having set a similar record on that day they won the game, which LeBron set the record. I believe it was 100 wins, if I'm not mistaken. I will check that and research that. But the fact that the attention seemed to shift over from LeBron James to JJ Redick kind of, I think more than anything, that's the media just trying to cast this sort of drama with the Lakers. And honestly, it's expected. The Lakers, whether they're in the playoffs or they're not in the playoffs, you're always going to draw attention because they're the Lakers. The media, of course, obviously has the money. They want to draw the money to the Lakers, of course, and they want to make it seem like LeBron is valued in the organization. So obviously, it's going to the into the direction that, well, the Lakers can't afford to lose LeBron James, even though he's going to go into age 42 in the next season. He is an unrestricted free agent, so technically he's not really a Laker at this point. He's not under contract. So what are his options going forward? Well, Father Time does not get defeated, and LeBron James obviously is going to turn 42, so you got to start thinking ahead. Do we want to invest another full year with LeBron James? Now, there's a couple of conversations we can have about, well, do we want to run it back again another year with almost the similar type of team? You got a cap problem where you got to pay certain players certain dollars, and you don't want to make LeBron feel like he's underappreciated in the organization. So are you going to ask him to take a pay cut? And if he takes a pay cut, what do you do to present to him your plan to get over a team like OKC? So, what do I think is going to happen with LeBron James? I mean, it obviously could go either way. I could see the Lakers probably making a lesser deal, trying to pitch a lesser max deal with LeBron James and say, hey, would you be willing to take a slightly, a slight pay cut so we can go and seek players to accommodate, the team. However, let's go now to another player in Luka, not Luka, Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves, and I cannot stress enough. Every time I I talk about Austin Reeves lately, I have a lot of mixed reactions, thoughts with Austin Reeves. If you ask me, I would probably categorize him as one of the Lakers' cons in this season. Yes, he did great in the regular season. He is good in being a solid, skilled player alongside Luka. I will give him that. However, if you are going to get over the hump in the playoffs where it actually matters, you cannot have a guy like Austin Reeves suddenly just disappear out of nowhere. I mean, you saw that he came back in the playoffs. He had a few games of rust, out of his system, and he was still nowhere to be found. So I don't know if I want to rely on a player who's just no showing in the playoffs. Now, give him some credit. He did sort of show up when he needed to in game 4 against OKC. But I mean, you got to admit that he was outmuscled. The Lakers. What you need in your team is not just outside shooting wing players, but you need to be physical. Every single championship team in the NBA, as far as I can think of, has always been physical. And this Lakers team just does not have the ingredients to be a physical team. Let's talk about DeAndre Ayton. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this, but DeAndre Ayton, I don't know what he was thinking in the last game against OKC. There was a play that OKC was running, and they shot, I believe they had about 3 or 4 straight possessions where they couldn't make a basket. DeAndre Ayton was literally under the basket and was not even making any attempts to even reach for the ball. It was just like he was just standing there and just waiting. Oh, the ball's just gonna come right to me. And the reaction that JJ Redick took, I was like, I want to take this guy out of the game and get him substituted. Well, he couldn't because the play continued in that I believe it was the fourth quarter, and they just could not get a rebound. And eventually, he goes and fouls instead of grabbing a rebound. Showed absolutely no effort. So I don't know. It's like he has these games where he's like, okay, I feel like that when he wants to show up and he feels appreciated, he will give his effort. But if for some reason he doesn't feel like he's being given the proper treatment, he's just gonna no show. At least that's the vibe that I'm getting with DeAndre Ayton. And not only that, but I mean, if you look at him physically, can you really say he's been working out in the gym? I mean, where is his conditioning? The guy looks like he hasn't even eaten a lot of protein. I mean, for crying out loud, lift some weights in the gym and get some muscle in you. I mean, I think Luka probably has more muscle than DeAndre Ayton, but that's a conversation for another time. So, anyways, what we gotta discuss as well. Obviously, we had the injuries with the Lakers, and I mean, you can't really deny the fact that the Lakers were just injury plagued almost all year, and then of course, right when you hit the playoffs at the near end of the season, Luka Doncic gets a hamstring injury. Of course, he got Austin Reeves. You know, he had his oblique injury as well. There's nothing you could do with that. So yeah, I mean, you have some people that are crucial that got you to the playoffs, but when the playoffs hit, all of a sudden you're relying on a roster that's not very deep. And once again, we talk about what changes we got to make in the offseason. We got to get deeper in the roster. JJ Redick actually mentioned as part of his post season interview, when they asked him, what would you consider having, you know, what are your needs for this team to get to that next step? And JJ Redick did not hesitate at all. And I believe he even looked straight at Rob Pelinka and told him, hey, we got to get a deep roster. It's 10 to 15 players deep. Will the Lakers have enough cap room to actually do that? Because they're gonna go. They're in the situation where, you know, you got Austin Reeves, who I personally don't believe they should sign him to a max contract. He is not worth a max contract. If we're gonna get him back, I'd rather just have him on a team friendly deal. Maybe trade him. You know, use him as a trade piece for somebody that can give you a good, you know, solid 40 minutes, 25 points a game, and be able to help be a lob threat for Luka, be a wing. So that's my thought. I don't think Austin Reeves is worth a max contract in the next year. And of course, you got LeBron, who is, you know, I don't think they're going to sign him at a lesser deal. I think he'll probably, if they want to run it back again one more year, he takes maybe a max contract, but just for 1 year, just to run it back and see what happens. Rui Hachimura, I think he was a reliable scorer for the Lakers. And remember, it was in the Lakers' loss in Game 3. Rui Hachimura just hit lights out, and I believe he scored more points than LeBron James. I think he had 21 points, and LeBron had 19 in that game. But he, and for the most part, he's in the regular season and in the playoffs, he's been pretty decent. So I have no complaints about Rui Hachimura. Who would I also bring back? I mean, there's Marcus Smart. To me, he is just what you want, that dog in Lakers locker room. That's not only just someone that hustles and gives you effort, but he's going to go after rebounds. He's going to take the charges. Sort of like a Dennis Rodman kind of player. You know, you want to have that kind of player that's tough and it's just not going to be bullied around. So, but other than that, I mean, we got your free agents as well. There's free agents in the off season that we're going to have to pay attention to. And right now, I think we got quite a list. Actually, most of the players that I just mentioned are going to be free agents this summer. You got LeBron James, you got Austin Reeves, who has a player option, Rui Hachimura, DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard, Jackson Hayes. I don't really care too much for Jackson Hayes, honestly. I don't mind. I'm not going to lose my sleep if he gets let go. If he walks. So those are my thoughts on free agents. We obviously I don't really feel great about DeAndre Ayton as staying on this roster next year, but I would definitely keep Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard, and if we're gonna get LeBron James, who, at 42 years old, remember, as old as he is, he still seems to have the best conditioning. Why not have him for one more year? And if he doesn't want to be with the Lakers because maybe he feels slighted at getting a cheaper offer, then hey, that's his choice. And that only opens up the opportunity for Lakers to grab someone else. Maybe, I don't know. There's talk that maybe the Lakers would try to make a trade piece or something, or to try to get Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Bucks, who is, I believe, a free agent. But I realistically don't believe he would be a good a two-man with Luke. First of all, you got Luka Doncic and Giannis, who both demand the ball quite often, and I just don't see that. I just don't see that mix working out unless Giannis can be the same as what LeBron is doing now, which is try to change his role. I just don't know if that's going to be the case. Physically, he's there. He has the physicality that the Lakers need in their rotation as a starter. So, but I don't know if that's. I don't know. I don't see that happening. So, anyways, I think I've addressed the cons. I've addressed the free agents that we're going to have this offseason. Let's talk about Adu Thero. He's actually a pretty solid wing who was considered I would probably consider him a steal. Because obviously we got him in a trade piece with Minnesota in round 2, and he's been a solid addition to the Lakers squad. So if we could get another player like Adu Thero, that would be great. So those are some of the needs that I think they need to fill this offseason. Plenty of depth. They need to improve at a center. They gotta get a lob threat for Luka Doncic. If they end up with the same team or almost a similar team next year, I don't know if we could probably be looking at possibly some changes mid-season next year, because I don't think the front office is going to want to put up another season like it was this year. Kudos to JJ Redick, who has made a lot of good, solid rotations despite all the injuries they've had. He has tried to do the best he's tried to make the best that he can with what he's been given. And the fact that they have a 50 win plus record back to back, I believe that he is a solid coach for the Lakers for the long term. So, anyways, I believe that's gonna probably wrap it up for this episode. If you guys have any thoughts about what is needed to make this Lakers team get to another step to the Western Conference Finals, I mean, we got to take steps forward, not backward. So I would have, comment on the channel, on the episode. Let me know your thoughts. And if you guys want, if there's anybody out there who wants to join the channel as a guest, and let's have a good Lakers talk conversation, I welcome it. I'm actually looking for anybody that, who wants to talk Lakers. Let's get on here and let's do a one-on-one, and we'll just talk some good old Laker basketball. We can talk about all the past teams and compare it to what it is now. I don't care. I wish we can reminisce on past years. Obviously, you got the Showtime Lakers, the Lake Show. But we're into this new era now where I think if LeBron leaves, we got to start and getting good solid additions, and it's going to start at the front office. So I believe that the new additions in the front office this year are going to be well noticed. So keep a close eye on that this offseason. The NBA draft is going to be coming up shortly after the NBA Finals in July. So is it July or June? I believe it's late June. I could be wrong. I need to look at the calendar on when the NBA draft is going to appear. So yeah. Anyways, lots to look forward to. The next episode we'll probably be looking a little bit closer at which prospects the Lakers will be looking to acquire in free agency in the NBA draft. And we can have hopefully can have a good discussion on what positions to fill. So until then, go and remember to subscribe to the channel, get notified when there's a new episode. Follow me on Blue Sky, Faithful Fan Talk at my social media. I will post the link to that social media page on the YouTube channel description page. Until then, I'll talk to you guys later.